this bulletin, Australian states consider legalising medicinal marijuana. Catholics in Australia get a new Archbishop. And plans are being laid to establish a Bible museum.
This is InFocus Christian News and Current Affairs.
Hi, welcome to the program. It's great to be with you for another episode of Record in Focus. Good to have you here too, Danielle.
Good to be here, Kent. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm actually quite excited, to tell you the truth, because we have Adrian Blenkinsop coming in, who's going to give me some tips on how to involve the young people in my church, and I am a youth leader at my church, in the Bible and engaging with the Bible. So yeah, that should be useful.
And I heard a rumour that James Standish has been to the movies.
He has, yeah. James Standish has seen the God's Not Dead movie. So he's going to be talking about the issues that movie raises and how that relates to religious freedom. Should be interesting. But let's do the news first, Danielle.
Thanks, Kent. As New South Wales moves to decriminalise marijuana for patients with terminal illnesses, other Australian states are considering similar moves. In Western Australia, the Uniting Church is urging the state government to legalise medicinal marijuana. According to the ABC, the WA Synod voted in favour of legalisation so long as the cannabis is prescribed by a doctor and used under supervision. Individual government and opposition members have spoken out in favour of medicinal marijuana, but so far it appears the government is unlikely to support a change. A tragic milestone has been passed in war-torn Syria, where 3 million people have now fled the country. The number of officially registered refugees does not include the 6.5 million Syrians who have been internally displaced. According to Baptist Press, Christian aid agencies in neighbouring countries are at risk of being overwhelmed by the level of need. ADRA is one such agency and has been working with refugees in both Jordan and Lebanon. They're asking Christians around the world to continue to pray and consider how they can make a difference. Opening your door could change the world. That's the message from the Adventist Development and Relief Agency during the charity's Knocktober annual fundraiser, the ADRA Appeal. Across Australia, volunteer collectors will be hitting the streets and shopping centres next month with the aim of raising $1.6 million. It's a total that will allow ADRA to impact the lives of more than 63,000 people at home and overseas. The charity's work spans from an ongoing response to the Ebola outbreak in West Africa and helping Nepalese women start small businesses to supporting Australian families experiencing crisis.
ADRA works at home here in Australia and overseas, and $5 can provide someone who's living on the streets with a warm meal through one of our programs, or $10 can provide 2 families in Vanuatu with the seeds they need to start a sustainable agriculture business, which is really cool.
After Cardinal George Pell moved to a new post at the Vatican early this year, the most senior leader for Australia's largest Christian denomination has been appointed. Archbishop-elect Anthony Fisher has been heading up the Catholic Diocese of Parramatta and will soon step into the top role. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, Archbishop Anthony says he will lead a humbler church in the Archdiocese of Sydney, and when it comes to the spectre of child abuse, he said there will be no excuses, no cover-ups. Archbishop Anthony is enthusiastic about the Religion in the Pub initiative, known as Theology on Tap, and plans to extend it to other parts of Sydney. 9 final year students from Avondale's Faculty of Nursing have gained valuable experience while lending a hand at a remote bush hospital in Malaita, Solomon Islands. The student nurses dealt with a very different set of medical issues, everything from machete injuries to malaria. It's the 5th year in a row that Avondale students have visited Atawifi Hospital, an initiative that is beneficial for everyone concerned. The story of Nigeria's Christians had another tragic chapter added earlier this month, 86 dead after the collapse of a church-owned guest house in Lagos. According to SBS, a group of nearly 350 South Africans was in the Synagogue Church of All Nations complex at the time. Some escaped and 131 needed to be pulled from the wreckage of the building by emergency services. Church leaders are calling the incident an act of sabotage, while state government authorities say extra floors had been added to the building without permission. The nation's president has promised an official investigation of the tragedy. One of the most controversial clergymen of the 20th century, known for his leading role during Northern Ireland's troubles, has died at the age of 88. According to the BBC, the Reverend Ian Paisley led a split with the Presbyterian Church in 1951 to establish the Free Presbyterian Church. He also established the Democratic Unionist Party and served as Northern Ireland's First Minister. For many years, Ian Paisley did political battle with the IRA and Sinn Féin and was an uncompromising advocate for Northern Ireland to remain as part of the United Kingdom. A group of Adventist students at Newcastle University have had surprising success in challenging their peers to reconsider the reality of God and the reliability of the Bible. The Newcastle Adventist Students Association saw atheist, agnostic, Hindu and other peers attend their series of seminars entitled Is God Finished? Guest speaker Dr Grenville Kent gave attendees a sneak preview of his apologetics film series as a springboard to discussing the issues. A number of the students who attended have now gone on to attend church or begin Bible studies to explore the reason for God in more depth. Ambitious plans are being laid in Washington, D.C. to establish a new Bible museum at an estimated cost of $800 million. According to Bible Society Australia, the museum is set to be one of the city's largest. The Bible manuscript collection of more than 40,000 items includes the world's largest private collection of Torah scrolls, the second largest collection of Dead Sea Scrolls and copies from some of the earliest English translations. The Green family, which owns the US retailing giant Hobby Lobby, is behind the project. In the world's biggest music market, a Christian artist has topped the charts, outselling mainstream competitors. Christian rapper Lecrae hit top spot on America's landmark Billboard 200 chart with his new album, Anomaly.
How did I fall in this? No condition that get a mention, but you offer this. Unconditional love, I swear I sell it all for this. Trying to keep it together, forget my awkwardness.
Lecrae has been bringing overtly Christian messages to the charts since 2005 and has always been driven to explore how the gospel impacts on tough social issues, including pornography, fatherlessness and incarceration.
God sees through my foolish pride and how I'm weak like Adam, another victim of Lucifer's lies. But then in steps Jesus. All men were created to lead, but we needed somebody to lead us.
Well, that's the news for this week. Kingston.
Thanks, Danielle. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment with James Standish, who's been to the movies. Sounds interesting.